Good afternoon, folks. This is Maria Abreu on a roll. I am responding to questions being posted by you guys on the YouTube channel. Thank you for doing that. Keep them coming. I've always said that the questions asked or posted by the one or two is the concerns of many. So I think that by addressing these questions by means of these videos, we're actually responding to doubts or questions or concerns that quite a few of you have. So thank you for doing that and keep it coming. This next question, I actually laughed a little bit when I read this because I think you could always tell when there's a foreigner who has not come to the DR or hasn't really is not too familiar with it. Not that there's any I'm not making fun of you. I'm not making fun at all. But this is just the kind of thing that I asked when I moved to the country. So it just takes me back a little bit. So withdrawing funds for large purchases like a car. Hi Maria, I've been watching all your videos and I'm also subscribed to your channel. Thank you for that. And in some of them, with regards to bank accounts, you mentioned the book that they give you in order to withdraw dollars from your savings account. My question is, how do you walk up to a car dealer, for example, with the intentions to buy a car cash in US dollars when your dollars are all in your savings account and you can't withdraw them unless you go directly to the bank with the book that they issued you? I have the impression that you are not going to suggest to go around Santo Domingo from dealership to dealership with a bag full of cash in it. No. And I'm so glad he talked about the bag full of cash. Let me just explain something to you. Anti-money laundering laws in this country are quite strict. So what happens with that is that straight cash transactions are either very limited to not being allowed. Like, for example, a dealership is rarely going to allow for you to bring in cash to buy a car, or you can't do a cash purchase when it comes to a real estate. It has to be either through a bank, a certified bank check, or bank transfers. And so this goes into, answering the question that was posted. If you have a US dollar account and you don't, you have the bank book, okay, they don't give you a debit card because ATMs do not give you dollars, they give you pesos. So you got the bank book. Now, if you're going to buy a car, the same as the situation, if you're going to buy a property, a unit, it's through bank transfers. Okay. The majority of these purchases are done through bank transfers. So once you sign the agreement, once you sign the contract, once you sign the application, it's approved or whatever, it's a bank transfer. And once you transfer the funds, usually you provide a receipt of transaction to whomever the vendor is. Okay, whether it's the car dealership, whether the developer selling you the property, you send a receipt, you provide a receipt of the bank transaction. Okay, so in answer to your question, it is no longer a popular method to go to the bank, withdraw the money, and give the cash, to the car dealership. You're going to do a bank transfer. And listen, bank transfers are so common and it's so easy to do. Everybody does that. Net banking is the number one way to do transactions in this country. I would say in the world. Okay? Because a lot of my clients, when they're buying property, they send the payment from the US bank, let's say, for instance, if they are in the US, they'll send the payment from the US to the bank here. Okay? And then just provide a receipt of the transaction. So that's how it's done, folks. Nobody goes to the bank and withdraws the money. Now, if you are not computer savvy and what you want to do is withdraw the funds and pay it, you're going to have a bank check, a certified bank check. And so what the bank does is that it withdraws the money. It gives you a certified bank check with the name of, let's say, the car dealer or whatever details have to go there in the amount. And that is as good as giving the dealership cash. But nobody does cash in a black bag anymore. Okay. And I suggest you avoid that. In a country governed by anti-money laundering laws, ever you always want to avoid cash transactions, especially if they're large. All right, guys. So I hope this information was helpful, and reach out if you have any additional questions. Okay. See you next time.